Hi, my name is Ernest Miller, and I want to go over a little bit on how my journey started with multiple myeloma and how my friends dubbed me with the name Amazing Ernie. I guess I started really taking notice back when I got married on January 1st, 2012. Got through the day. At the end of the day, I was carrying my wife over the threshold. She felt very heavy to me. I thought maybe, well, it was a rough day, it was a long day. The night before, I didn't sleep too much. My wife's not a big woman, 5'7", 135 pounds, and here I was at 245 pounds at that time, so I should have been able to lift her at no problem at all. So life goes on, and then first Valentine's Day, that morning I was instructing a aqua fitness class. Again, felt fatigued, chest was a little sore, arms felt heavy. I figured, well, maybe I'm overdoing it, not resting. Went into the shower, tried to stretch out, took a steam. Had trouble putting my socks on, so I just put my sneakers on. Having some chest pain, so I contacted my wife, had her take me to the hospital, make sure I wasn't having a heart attack. All the results that came back, all the tests they did, showed nothing. We move on. Come April, I was feeling a little phlegmy, I had a hard time breathing, pain in the back, couldn't lay down at night. One day I coughed up a bunch of phlegm and heard a snap, crackle, pop. Being a therapist and a trainer, I know this wasn't normal. I had to walk backwards to the couch. I laid down, I pulled myself back into place. And again, life goes on. I started going to my GP, try to find out what was going on. Was it walking pneumonia? Was it something more serious? Didn't know. Come to find out, we did find, and we went for a bone marrow test. Came back, I figured maybe lung cancer because I had been a smoker in the past. Come to find out it was multiple myeloma, deletion 17p. Went to my oncologist that they hooked me up with. He says we need to start chemo last week. So we started infusions, and then didn't give me very much long to go. They were looking at 6 months, maybe a year, because it was an aggressive cancer. Now we come up to Labor Day weekend, where this was my turning point in life, one of a big moment. We get up to my sister's house to do the barbecue. I'm thinking in my head I'm going to be saying goodbye to people that I probably won't see again. I go to get out of the car, and I'm looking up, and there's my sister. She's in tears, and she's got her own problems going on. I got my wife on one side, my brother on the other side. I try to pull myself up when I realize my legs are not working. I said, please, somebody grab me. And down I'm going. So my turning point here is I have my wife on one side, whose heart I broke a couple of times, and she showed me grace, took me back, and became my wife. And on the other side, I have my brother-in-law, who I never cut a break, always razzed him, and here he is showing me compassion. And when he held me in his arms, the comfort I felt, the compassion I felt come from, was overwhelming. And that was the turning point in my life where I realized if I'm going to go out, I need to be a better husband, and I need to be a better man in general, and not so judgmental. So we had a great weekend. It was almost like you heard of Bernie's at weekend. This was like Ernie's at weekend, because they just sat me there because I couldn't stand or move. We get back to Fort Lauderdale. I'm having problems. I'm sweating. I'm not feeling great. My wife brings me to the emergency room, and she literally dragged me from the car, and a nice gentleman came out and asked me if I needed a hand. I said, no, she likes dragging me everywhere. They got me in there. The staff was wonderful. I had the nurse there wrapped me up. He was wonderful. He wrapped me up so tight where I couldn't move. The pain had kind of dissipated. The bones were just brittle and going away. I was there for about 2 months, and I had every specialist that you wouldn't believe, whether it was a blood specialist, infectious disease, lung specialist, the respiratory therapist. The nurses were fantastic. My oncologist watching over me, fantastic, took great care of me for 2 months. I get out. They had fitted me with a body brace and a walker. As soon as I was able to get up and walk, I was trying to walk everywhere, a little slow. And then we had to decide where I was going to go for my stem cell transplant. We did go to Dana-Farber. I had some friends back at home that had a fundraiser. Carol and Michael, thank you. Went up there, and they told me where I could go. We decided on Moffitt. There were two. It was over in Tampa, number 2 in the world for multiple myeloma. Went over in April, had a stem cell transplant in May. Had to stay there for a bit to go back and forth. Got home, 2 months of quarantine, and then started rebuilding my body in September. Cutting out certain things because I was a food addict. And then I had a friend of mine out of Chicago, Kathy, and Jim. She turned me on to Keto for Cancer, and this is where I started my journey on changing my food habits. Went to ketogenic. Here we are today. It's April. Since I coughed, probably 6 years since I coughed and fractured my spine and ribs, doing a ketogenic diet. I would love to share my journey with everybody out there and hopefully can help people become healthier, or to take a longer look at what they're doing with their lives and get healthy before they get to the point where they've gone through what I went through. I look to sharing my journey with you. Everybody have a blessed and happy day and healthiness.